Hello, welcome to another episode of Talking About Rock. I'm Rob Edwards. Each week we bring you rock interviews from around the globe. You can catch all our shows wherever you get your podcasts with new episodes every weekend. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode. Check out our website, talkingaboutrock.com. Today we have for you a drum legend and a Buffalo Music Hall of Fame vocalist. Vinny Appice and Jim Crean stopped by to chat with us. Vinny built the foundation for countless Black Sabbath and Dio songs. This drum legend returns to chat with us to tell us what he is up to lately, as he once again brings the crowd to stand up and shout with metal vocalist Jim Crean leading the call. Next on Talking About Rock. Okay, we now have with us, returning to our show, rock drum legend Vinny Appice and Buffalo Music Hall of Fame vocalist Jim Crean. Thank you both for coming back to speak with us, guys.
Hey, Rob, how are you, buddy?
Both of us in one place.
In one place at the same time. All right, so Vinny, let's start with you. Let's talk a little bit about the Sabbath days. When you were originally called to work with Sabbath, it was kind of a last minute thing to fill in for Bill Ward. Is that the case?
Yes, it was. They were on tour on the Heaven and Hell tour, 1980, and they were scheduled to play Denver at the old McNichols Arena. And I guess Bill had a problem and he didn't show. And they had to postpone the gig, and then they flew back to LA because they had 4 or 5 days off because of that. And they had to find a drummer. And I got a call from the tour manager. I don't know how they got my number. I think through Warner Brothers Records. And they said, hey, we're looking for a drummer. You want to come down and meet Tony Iommi if you're interested? I said, yeah. And so the next night I went down, or maybe that night I went down to, well, I lived in Hollywood at the time, so it was easy to go to the hotel. And I met Tony. And he had a copy of my band Axis that I did with in 1979 or 8. And he liked the album and he had it with him, and we hit it off really well. And he invited me to go play with him the next day at rehearsal. So.
And what was your first show? Was that the Hawaii show? Was that your first live show with them?
Yeah, the Hawaii show was like 50,000 people. And then when I went down to rehearse, we played a couple of songs. I wasn't a big Sabbath fan, so I didn't really know the songs that well. And I heard Neon Nights on the radio a couple of weeks prior, and I didn't really know of Ronnie James Dio that much. And I knew he was the new singer in Sabbath. And I listened to it on the radio in the car. I went, that new singer sounds great. Ronnie James Dio. Wow, he's from Rainbow. I knew that.
Yeah.
So when they said, what do you know? I said, well, let's play Neon Nights. Because I know the song, I looked at it as it doesn't stop until one part. Then it continues all the way out. So it'd be easy to play that song. And that's the first song I ever played with Dio. And it was the last song on the last gig we ever played with Ronnie. That was the last song.
Oh, so very cool.
Weird. Yeah.
So you guys moved on to that after, obviously, Ronnie left Sabbath. He took him with you, and there were some debates over the Live Evil mix, and he left, and you guys started working on the masterpiece, which would be Holy Diver. So
yeah.
And I've read that riff. The riff for Rainbow in the Dark was something Vivian came up with from her previous band. And you guys kind of used to jam to it at rehearsals and kind of put some stuff together with it.
Well, you know what was I'm not sure if that was one of Viv's riffs. I'd have to ask him, but Stand Up and Shout was one of Viv's riffs from a band called Sweet Savage that he had before this. And that was called Bottle of Wine. And I actually have a tape of it somewhere, and you could hear the riff, but it's not Stand Up and Shout.
Right.
And it's interesting to hear it, and because we were writing songs, we were trying different jams and different things. I thought Rainbow in the Dark was more of a jam we came up with. Right. I started playing that kind of beat at that tempo.
And what I've read, Ronnie hated the song and was ready to trash it.
Yeah, that was Ronnie.
He was ready to trash it. He's like, he didn't like it at all. And this turns out to be like the song that kind of catapults this whole album to start with.
Yeah. Because we worked on the song and then it became what it was, and then we played it for some females who really liked the song,
Right.
and that's a good sign,
Right.
It's
Because there
not
was it was a little more poppy-ish, right?
it's more poppy, and the girls liked it, and I
Right.
thought, you know what, there's no problem with that. So and then Ronnie, he thought it was too poppy and blah blah blah. And then at the end in his book he says, "I'm glad nobody listened to me."
Right. I read that at the end of his book. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, come on,
Yeah.
it's a great song, and we put in the big tom, bum, da, 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 da. That was the '80s. Let's put in those big
Yeah.
toms.
Yeah. And
You
the
know?
video looked like it was a last minute thing. I remember him on the rooftops and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, that was another thing. I didn't know he was even doing a video. He said they'd go
But
to England to do
yeah,
press, and then next thing you know, they did a video.
Yeah, he had to do stuff
And I
like
think
that.
Jimmy and Viv are in that video only because somebody told them, "Hey, Ronnie's up in London. He's doing a video right now. You
Oh,
guys."
really?
Oh, and they went and showed up, and that's how they got in the video.
Wow.
A little bit of a miss.
Wow. So, Jim, we know you're a huge Ronnie Dio fan. That was a big influence on you. But you had another big influence, which was Kiss. You were set to do some shows with their former guitarist, Vinnie Vincent, but that never came to be. Can you tell us some about that?
Sorry.
Nah.
No, you don't want to talk about that. That's old news.
I mean, that guy's a weirdo. I mean, why would we even want to waste our breath on that guy? He's a strange one.
Actually, we have Vinny Vincent here right now in my house. Come here, Vinny, talk to Jim.
He stopped
And then,
by
he'll deny, and then he'll deny he was at your house.
No, I know Carmine has been dealing with Vinny over the years, and like Jim said, very, very unpredictable.
Yeah, that's what it's all read in the tabloids and the press and everywhere. He starts one thing and it stops, and who knows for what reason that really never comes out. But whatever. So, and Jim, you've worked to perform with Vinny and his brother Carmine on their Drum War shows and albums. And when we last spoke, you had collaborated with Vinny on the Scream Taker album, Kill the Beautiful. Yeah. We're gonna see a follow-up to that or something?
I mean, we did that album during COVID. Vin, myself, and Steph out of France. And then we got a deal out of it. And it's a great record. I mean, I'm really proud of the record.
I love that record.
Vinny loves it too. He plays it. Vinny has a drum show that he does weekly. Check it out. It's really
I watch it. I watch it when I get time. I saw you the other day with Carmine. I don't know if it was a repeat, but I saw you.
Yeah, that was a repeat. Yeah.
You don't have to be a drummer to watch his show because he tells great stories about things like with Ronnie and stuff like that. So just be a fan of good metal and watch Vinny's show. But Vinny plays a lot of our Scream Taker stuff on there, and it's a good album. It's so who knows? Maybe someday we'll do another Scream Taker record. I think that'd be fun. What do you think, Vin?
Yeah, it would be fun. Yeah, I would love it.
I would like to see something come back from that. Definitely. And Vinny, one of the last. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, the Drum Wars project that you were talking about, that's a really cool show too, because it's Vinny and Carmine together playing at the same time. The songs of Vinny's career and the songs of
even when Carmine's not supposed to be playing.
Oh yeah. Even when Carmine's not supposed to be playing, he comes out during Vinny's solo.
Yeah, you guys seem to have a lot of fun with that, throwing your sticks back and forth and catching them, and it's a riot. I caught the show a couple of years ago. It was great.
Yeah, that was a good show. That's how we met Jim. We did. Carmine and I used to just get people from around the venue area, musicians, to play with us. We'd send them the songs 2 months before, and the whole set list. And Jim was with the band that showed up that was going to play with us. No rehearsal, too. We rehearsed at soundcheck. It was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And Jim blew us away, and then Jim's been the singer ever since.
I was wondering how that came about. Yeah,
he could sing Ozzy, no problem, and a lot of other stuff, no problem. But he could sing Dio, which is a problem for a lot of singers.
Right.
I've even tried singers out over the years that said, I can't do the Dio stuff. I can't do it. So Jim could do it. Jim's a great singer.
Yeah. Excellent singer, definitely. Does all the Dio tracks great.
Yeah.
And Vinny, one of the last songs you did with Ronnie was you guys rebranded the Sabbath project called Heaven and Hell for the
Right.
Devil You Know. And one of the tracks on there, Bible Black. What can you tell us about that? I thought that was a great track, you know?
That's a great track. That's not one of my favorite albums, and the reason being, I should say, and the reason why it's not one of my favorite albums is you got to tune in Tuesday to my show, and I'll tell you.
And I'll tell you, to be continued on Vinny's Facebook show.
But I'll tell you anyway because
oh, he's going to give us a sneak peek. All right.
Because that album, all the other albums we did were jams in the rooms, and we worked on it together, and we developed songs and put stuff together. That album was written, I don't know, it was presented to me with a drum machine, and the stuff was already written. So I don't know if Tony and Ronnie got together or if Geezer and Tony. I don't know how they did it, but so there was no interaction.
So you didn't really have a lot of input on it. It was kind of all
exactly.
set.
And then it was like we're at Ronnie's house and we're playing the stuff, Tony, Geezer, me, and Ronnie, and then the engineer would go, it'd be nice if there was a hang, you know, in that one part. And when you're playing with the band, you go, okay, let's do it again. Bomb, takes 2 minutes. We wanted to hang. Okay, hang on a minute. And he's programming the drum machine, you know, all this shit. And it's like, oh man.
And you're like, you're probably like, get this crap out of here and I'll show you what it's supposed to sound like, right?
So it's not one of my favorite albums I've done with them, but it is a very good album. Everybody played good, but that wasn't what we were about. I don't know why it went that direction. You know, we used to go in a room together. I just thought it was a standout track.
I just thought Bible
Black is a great track, and I'm good friends with Sebastian Bach. And every time I see him, he freaks out over Bible Black. Oh my God, let's play it. He loves that song. It's even he's in Ronnie's movie.
Yeah,
there's a part in there where he's listening to Bible Black. And he's so funny.
Yeah, I did watch.
He's like a comedian.
Yeah, it was great to watch that.
But that's a good song.
Yeah,
I love that song.
Definitely. And so you guys are about to begin dates for the Sabbath night shows. And is this something you've been thinking about doing for a while? Kind of a continuation of what you started originally with Vivian and Last in Line?
Well, I did this kind of thing probably 5 to 8. I don't know how long ago that was. Maybe 7 years ago, and they booked me on a European tour and starting in Italy, and I know the promoter, and we had a good band, and we started playing all these Mob Rules songs and some Sabbath songs and Dio, and it wound up doing good. I did 25 shows the first tour, the second tour, same thing. So I did like 3 tours in Europe. Then I went to South America, did 2, and then some dates in Ohio with Mike Carr, my friend. He's a guitar player. So I thought, well, it'd be nice to do some stuff here with a great band and great singer and stuff. And so I called Jim and we put our heads together, and he was into it. And I said, well, let's try to get this going here. You know, and we got a great band, Artie Dillon on guitar, Jim Caputo on bass. They play with us with the Drum War show, and we're really tight. And luckily Jim could sing, you know, both Ozzy stuff and Dio stuff.
Yeah, can sing the hell out of it, right? Yep.
Sing the shit out of it. Yeah. So here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. Yeah. The last time we spoke with you, Vinny, you were very verbal regarding the slighting of Ronnie and yourself for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Did you get any calls on that or any feedback about that?
About what did I do?
I asked you why you weren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you told me because they were a bunch of fucking assholes. So I was wondering if you got any feedback or heard anything about that.
I changed my opinion on them. Now I think they're a bunch of now I think they're a bunch of wallies. Nah, same old shit. Get out of here.
Same old shit. Yeah.
You know, I think the School of Rock does a better job of if they had a Hall of Fame than these.
That might be an idea. You never know.
You never know. School of Rock, Hall of Fame. You know.
Yeah. Well, they'll definitely be having a Buffalo wall
instead of cement. You know, cement imprints. You just use Play-Doh. or something, some crayons and shit. That would be better than what these guys do.
Well,
There's
they
there's
did.
people in there that don't belong in there, and there's people that are not in there that belong in there. So
Yeah, well, School
I don't
Rock
give
did
a shit if I'm
did
in
a
there,
pretty
so.
cool video for Holy Diver. You have to check out sometime. Some of the kids doing Holy Diver. It was pretty cool. But one other thing I got for you, I also heard now there's another third pronunciation of your last name. So I was watching your show. Now, where does this Appice come from? I heard that's the third one now.
That's my brother Frank. That's the other brother. So he's Frank Appice. He says it the Italian way. Apparently in Italy, hey, Vinny Appice. Hey, So he came out with that, and then I'm Appice and Carmine's Appice.
I know. Now we got to keep track of the 3-1. So I'll make sure I write that down to keep track of that. Yeah. All right. Very, very cool. Well, folks, you can catch Vinny and Jim on the Sabbath night shows with, like he was saying, Ari Dillon and Jimmy Caputo. They're going to be playing August 12th at the Arizona Charles Casino, Las Vegas, Nevada. August 17th.
Oh, yeah. The Vegas show is a slightly different band because it's on the West Coast, and it started at a different time. The gig came in at a different time. So,
okay, so
but it's the same deal. Yeah.
You'll be slotting in some other people on that. So, but at the August 17th, we'll catch you at the Backlot Entertainment Venue in Akron, New York.
Yes.
And then on the 18th, you guys will be at the Landis Theater in New Jersey. And then on the 19th, the Vault Music Hall in New Bedford.
Yeah, we're going to kick ass.
20th, we're in Rochester.
Yeah, and then you're going to the Rochester show. And then there's this other show that I just saw that's popped up the other day. I saw you guys got a drum war show coming up in Lebanon, Oregon, the Guitar Under the Stars Festival. I was like, where did this come from? Oh, okay.
That show's turning into, it's up in the air right now, but it's turning into like a Spinal Tap thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can't say anything about it, but I mean, yesterday there was put it this way: the electric went out in Lebanon, Oregon yesterday.
Right.
And we were supposed to have some communication, and there was like an excuse. The electric's out for 4 hours. We go, oh, come on. You got to be kidding.
There have been some power outages, yeah.
So I looked it up. I went, power outage in Lebanon, Oregon? And sure enough, it came up. And it said that a bunch of birds flew into the power station, and they must have got zapped and shorted out the station. So there was no electric in Lebanon, Oregon for 4 hours. I thought, is this Spinal Tap? Or, I mean, you got to be kidding me, of all days. So that's what happened yesterday. So it's still being dealt with.
All right. Well,
hopefully to confirm this by Monday.
Yeah, let's hope they get all the birds and anything else cleared up for you guys, so get that show going. And then I was also seeing there's newly released dates for the Last in Line shows that got posted for supporting the Jericho album. You guys are going to be coming back out in September, doing shows for that.
That is, we got how many shows? 12 shows, I think. Yes, in September. And they start out on the West Coast. We got 4 shows and then 8 shows on the East Coast. And then more to come later on in the year. We're doing Mexico in December, just 1 show. So we'll have to see what the schedule is. And then in between that, we're going to be booking Sabbath nights too, because it's fun and we want to kick ass together. So there'll be more Sabbath nights gigs too, as well.
Right, very cool. I hope there's some more Drum Wars shows too, or I'm going to have to head up to PA and catch that show up there. So
yeah. It'll be fun.
Very cool. So I know all the info is available. You can go to vinnyappice.com. You can check out the tour dates there. You can go to lastinlineofficial.com. You can check that out.
Hey, let me see if that's actually on my website, because I usually go to Vinny Appice official Facebook.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was checking it out today. Yeah, it's on there. And you can also log on to www.jimcrean.net and you can get all your info there as well.
There it is.
We're also doing a CD. You were talking about Scream Taker earlier. Me and Finn are going to do a in-store at Hi-Fi Hits on August 16th. We're going to do some CD signing for some Scream Taker stuff. Vinny's going to have some Last in Line stuff. So it should be pretty cool. There'll be more details on that.
When is that? When is that? 16th?
That's gonna be August 16th. Yeah.
Okay. What time?
Day before the tour starts, the 17th. I think it's gonna be at 6 o'clock, 6 to
Okay,
8.
6 o'clock. Come down and meet me and Jim, and we have stuff to sign. We'll sign whatever you have too. It'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Awesome, awesome. So August 16th, folks, Hi-Fi Hits, Main Street in Williamsville, New York, and come out there and meet Vinny Appice and Jim Crean. They'll be signing stuff for you, Screen Taker stuff, Sabbath stuff. That sounds wonderful, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for being here today. I so much appreciate you guys both taking the time, and I look forward to seeing you out there on the stage.
Thank you. Love your background too. You did
Thank you, guys. Have a
good
great
job
night.
on that. All right. See you guys.